Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Heather.
And we have another doozy on the murder menu for this week. But first, some trigger warnings.
Sexual assault, kidnapping, domestic violence, and language.
Language.
Always language.
Always language with us. Always.
Okay.
I didn't study for this assignment.
So this is Ivan Milat. Ivan Robert Marco Milat was born December 27th, 1944. Commonly referred to in the media as the backpacker murderer.
Are you sure it's not the backpack murderer?
No, it's the backpacker murderer.
I'm a backpacker.
I know. I don't know. I've looked into it, and that's what it's called, the backpacker murderer.
Backpacker murderer. That's a mouthful.
It really is. All right. From Australia. He was an Australian serial killer who abducted between 1989 and 1992. His modus operandi was to approach backpackers along the Hume Highway under the guise of providing them transportation to areas of southern New South Wales.
See, David watches a YouTuber from that talks about being in South Wales. I don't fucking know who it is because he watches a million of them. But
under the guy,
then he takes his victims.
Then he takes his victims into the Belangio State Forest, where he would incapacitate and then murder them. Milat is also suspected of having committed many other similar offenses around Australia. Which this dude is super weird. I can't wait.
I mean, we can't really say much because he's not a necro, so he can't be that weird.
Yeah, no necrophilia or cannibalism in this one.
So he's pretty normal compared to what we normally deal with. Early life. About half and half.
Half and half. Ivan Milat was born on December 27th, 1944 at Crown Street Women's Hospital in Guildford, New South Wales, the son of Crowlton.
I didn't even want to attempt that.
Of a Crowlton immigrant and a labor.
Girl, if that's how you spell immigrant, you are so. That is not how you spell
immigrant. No, that's how I pronounced it. I don't know the last name.
You need immigrant. Oh, I was going to say, that's not how you spell immigrant.
No, that's the first and last name.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I can't pronounce the dad's first or last name. The dad's last name, the dad goes by Stephen Milat.
I really thought that says Steph Jean Pin.
But it is. That is his name, but he goes by Stephen.
Okay, gotcha.
The mom, we're just going to call her Mama Milat because we have no idea how to say her name.
It's Margaret Elizabeth Piddleton.
Oh, so that's not the name.
He was the son of a... Hold on. What?
We're going to have to cut this out.
No, I'm going to have to Google that because I think it's some type of labor work. Hold on. Yeah, we can probably cut it out, but hold on. It's some type of labor work. Copy. One too many O's in Google. Croatan ethnicity who has left their homeland.
Okay, so she left her homeland.
So she was kind of an immigrant. Makes sense. There you go.
Okay, so she was born to...
He.
Or he was... Yeah.
He.
This is just all over the place already.
Always with us.
All right. So he was born to Stephen Millett and Margaret Elizabeth
Piddleton.
Fiddleton.
And the only reason why I remember that is because there's a John Wayne movie with a Piddleton in it.
And Australian national. Ivan was the 5th out of 14 children.
Holy fucking fucktards.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say much. I have 6, but holy fucking fucktards.
In
Have my knees and call me a fucking shorty. Impoverishment.
Yeah. Millott family intentionally lived on a rural Waterford in a rural water. I cannot talk.
It's rural.
Rural.
And I'm still pretty sure that's pronouncing
Waterford Cottage Farm and Bosley Park. 36 kilometers or 22 miles west of Sydney before relocating to Liverpool. By all accounts, Millott's parents were
Cosine sisters?
Yes, in raising and educating and disciplining their children, and sent them all to Catholic schools.
Oh, so they're one of those.
But the dad...
We'll get into it, but
yeah.
I feel like a lot of serial killers are born from Catholics or some religious upbringing. But
religious trauma.
Kinda.
Yeah.
In a way. It's
right.
Not Catholics in general, but a lot of them that we've done is practice
Pentecostal
Catholic faith.
We personally have a lot of religious trauma.
Yeah.
All right. Not going to trauma dump. Not today. At least not on this podcast. Anyway. Catholic schools, however, family members describe Millott's father as having a temper due to his alcoholism. Many of the 10 Millott boys. So they had 10 boys and 4 girls.
That's a lot of boys.
It really is. There was a lot of testosterone in that house.
Poor sisters. I wonder how many of them grew up. Never mind.
Right. My thoughts exactly. We're well known to the local police and were used to handling knives and firearms, spending their afternoons shooting at targets in their parents' yard.
Typical boys back in the day.
Siblings recalled Millott displaying antisocial and psychological behavior at a young age, such as attacking animals with machetes during their childhood, leading to a stint in a residential school at the age of 13. By age 17, he was in a juvenile detention center for theft. At the age of 19, he was involved in a shop break-in. In 1964, he was sentenced to 18 months for breaking and entering in a hard labor facility. In September 1967, at the age of 22, he was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment for theft. On April 7th, 1971, Malat abducted two young 18-year-old female hitchhikers
Right.
near Liverpool Railway.
Does that help a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Railway. No, I lost my spot, though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. It's not your fault. It's mine. Railway station.
Yeah, right here.
With a knife.
There we go. I'm trying to make sure we don't lose our spot.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Where is it?
Railroad station right here.
With a knife. He raped one of the hitchhikers before they stopped at a petrol station cafe.
Right.
So what he did is, when he kidnapped these two girls, he gave them the choice of which one was going to be raped. He told them, either you guys pick who is going to have sex with me, or I'm going to kill you both.
I'm ready to go meet Jesus. Send me to the heavens, because fuck you.
But yeah.
He wasn't even attractive.
Right.
Now, maybe if odds were a little bit different, but this motherfucker's not even attractive. Like, send me to Jesus.
He raped one of the hitchhikers before they stopped at a petrol station cafe.
Yeah.
Where they managed to escape. Malat was arrested later that day and was charged with 1 count of rape, 2 counts of armed robbery,
right,
while awaiting trial. Which I don't understand why it was armed robbery and not kidnapping. Probably because they was hitchhikers, so they got in his car willingly.
Technically, yeah, but I still feel like it should have been abduction,
right?
Their will.
Exactly.
Because at one point they were not willing anymore.
Right. He was arrested later that day and charged with 1 count of rape.
So he was a very dumb criminal because he got caught pretty quick.
He got caught a lot.
I feel like that's a pattern with these motherfuckers.
Right. While awaiting trial, he was involved in a string of robberies with some of his brothers before faking his suicide by leaving his shoes at the Gap. As well known... Yeah.
Sydney suicide site?
A well-known Sydney suicide site. Authorities believe that Malat then fled to Queensland and Victoria before flying to New Zealand, where he lived for 2 years. However, Malat is suspected of having to return using a fake passport and lived interstate to avoid detection. He was arrested in 1974 after his mother was taken to the hospital, suffering from a heart attack. But the robbery and kidnap cases against him failed at trial failed at the trial with help of Malat's family lawyer, John Martson. Malat took on a job as a truck driver.
So what? He got out of the rape and robbery?
He did.
Damn, boy, be slick.
This attorney, every time.
Them criminal defense lawyers are pretty good. Most of them, anyways. As long as they're not legal aid.
But in 1975, and by the time of his arrest, he worked on and off the roads and traffic authorities for 20 years. In 1977, Malat unsuccessfully attempted to rape and murder 2 women who were hitchhiking from Liverpool to Canberra.
But was never charged. So
That
did
was
he
never
like
charged.
taking them in twos then?
Yeah, pretty much every time.
Which is probably more of
They're
a cat and mouse
suspecting-
game. There's probably more of like a cat and mouse game because if you take two, then you're forcing that person to choose their fate.
Well, and they're saying that since there's two, there's normally always two. They think that he had a partner.
You would think he would have turned on him though. It's probably one of his brothers, honestly.
Because one of the guys, we'll get into it, but one of the guys that he kidnaps, him and his girlfriend, Ivan or whatever, Milat is only like 5 foot something. One of the guy victims that he kidnaps is like 6 foot. So they're saying he liked
a little bit of a challenge.
So they're saying that they think he had a partner, but he would never tell.
And that's why I say it's probably one of his brothers. Because here's the thing, serial killers most of them like to work alone. But they're also, if they had another suspect, they probably would have had leverage. But I almost guarantee it's one of his brothers.
Right. Well, he did get in trouble for some of the crimes that he had committed earlier were with his brother.
Honestly, it was probably a brother.
But
it makes sense. It makes no sense why one was raped and the other wasn't.
Right. By the time of internet,
Right here.
by the time of the initial discoveries in the Belangelo, I cannot say that word. I'm going to be saying it wrong.
Belangigo?
A lot.
Just put State Forest.
State Forest. Several backpackers had disappeared. One case involved a young Victorian couple from Frankston. What did I read it as Frankenstein?
Bitch, you said that, and I was like, wait, what? It's Frankston.
Oh my
And Deborah Everhurst. I don't even know. That sounds like a person's name.
19, it is.
Oh.
From Frankston, the victim was Deborah
I know, but how you
Everhurst.
put it, you put young Victorian couple from Frankston.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, it's from Frankston, and
Yeah.
then Deborah.
Everest.
I
She
didn't
was
see
19, and James Gibson, 19.
I didn't see the call.
This episode's all over the place.
It's fine. We like
And
to
this
have
is
a lot.
probably going to be a two-parter because it's a long one.
If not 3.
Who had been missing since leaving Sydney for Confest near Albury.
Albury.
Jesus, I cannot talk tonight. Oh my gosh. On December 30th, 1989, related...
So that was a week after David was born.
Related with Simone
Squishmallow? Squishmallow?
Sorry, we do not know how to pronounce
Y'all,
some
we
names.
are from a small town in Ohio. Fuck, I don't fucking know.
I really should have Google translated the names so I knew. I didn't even think about it. She was 21 from Germany.
So his victimology staying pretty. Within the teens so far.
Yeah.
And then the 20s.
From Germany, who had been missing since leaving Sydney from Melbourne on January 20th, 1991.
Why did you put January 1991?
That's just how it was written on the website.
Fair enough. Similarity.
I cannot say that word. Similarly?
Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
Yeah. Germany. Oh my god.
A German couple from
A German couple from
Alright. Gabor, 21.
Yeah. Gabor 21 and Nadja
20.
Hashid 20 had disappeared after leaving a King's Cross hostel from Mildura on December 26, 1991, seen in King's Cross on April 18th, 1992. The discovery of his victims on September 19th, 1992, two runners discovered a concealed corpse while overturning in Belangelo. The following morning, police discovered a second body 30 meters, 100 feet.
So he ended up killing both of them then.
Mm-hmm. From the police, from the first police quickly confirmed via dental records that the bodies were those of the two, Clark and Waters. Waters had been stabbed 15 times, 4 times in the chest, once in the neck, and 9 times in the back, which would have paralyzed her. Clark had been shot 10 times in the head in a brutal sight. Now, this one...
Hold on. This tells me that there was most likely 2 perpetrators.
Well, the one... I don't... Did I write it on here? Yes. The police believe she had been used as target practice.
Right. But here's the thing. The reason why I said there's probably 2 perpetrators is stabbing is up close and personal.
Right.
Shooting is not. It's a total different preference.
Which
you just don't go from magically stabbing, or throwing knives, or using it as target practice to lay down motherfucker. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, they both could have been target practice. One could have been in a knife, and one could have been in the guns. But I say here there was 2 different.
Which Clark, if this is, which I do believe it's her. When she was found, she had a red hoodie around her head. And so that's why they suspect that she was used as target practice.
Hood or like
a hoodie, like a sweatshirt,
like wrapped around her face, like where she couldn't see.
Yeah,
yeah, and that was probably, I could see that, but I also can see 2 different people.
Which it's really weird. Doing this, I found out. Fun fact, ADD moment.
I don't know if it would be so much a fun fact.
No, it actually is.
Oh, okay. You have me like,
Did you know that Australians don't call hoodies hoodies?
I do. David watches an Australian he travels like to different beaches and does like camping videos, cook, catch, but I can't remember what they call it.
They call them sloppy joes.
That's what it is. I mean, that's a little... I thought that was. Could you imagine, like, hey, yo, hand me that sloppy Joe over there?
I thought that was pretty interesting because the other podcast, the podcast that I had listened to about this tonight, they was talking about it, and they're like, she had a sloppy. They call them sloppy joes around her face, and I'm like, how the fuck did he wrap a sandwich around her face?
Bitch, no, you didn't.
And then
Did you really just say, how the fuck did they wrap a sloppy Joe sandwich around her face?
That's the first thing that popped into my head.
Tell me you are American without telling me you are fucking American.
And then she described it, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, they don't.
I'm like, that makes complete sense.
Of course it does.
But anyway, that was my ADD tangent. Anyways, had to break up the fuckery a little bit here. But she was shot 10 times in her head.
Wait, was she shot? No, I thought the other person was shot.
Clark had been shot 10 times in the
Okay.
head at the burial site. And police believe she had been used as target practice. After a thorough search of the forest, investigators ruled out the possibility of further discoveries. On October 5th, 1993, a local man searching for firewood, possibly for, discovered bones in a particularly remote section of the bungalow.
Yeah.
He returned with the police to the scene where 2 bodies were quickly discovered and later identified as Gibson and Everest.
So was that kind of like a dumping ground for him?
Mm-hmm.
The burial site is what they call them.
Yeah. And he kept them pretty remote. Like, he kept them pretty close together. All of them pretty close together.
Which is very stupid, but moving on.
It is, but...
Here's the thing, though. Like, what I don't understand about killing grounds is if you don't want to get caught, don't go to the same spot twice.
Right.
Spread them out. Because the quickest way to throw authorities off is never have the same MO. And never, ever. You want to spread them out. So geologically, the police are looking here, and you're doing sleight of hand over here. That's what always gets me with serial killers, is they always like to go back. Which, I mean, is probably to get their rocks off, honestly. And it's a comfort zone. But if you're really wanting to get away with it, like, geologically, you want to be all over the map. And you don't want your MOs to match in any way possible. Because then it's just going to be tied right back to you.
How to Get Away with Murder 101.
It just irritates me with some of these serial killers. It's like, why make a dumping ground?
Right.
And that's why a lot of times, like, serial killers that are truck drivers get away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they pick up one person here, and then by the time they're done with them, they're dropping them 25, 100 miles away from the original site. So then by that time, they're circling back around to a different state.
Right.
So the only thing that gets them is they use the same MO. Don't use the same MO, and you wouldn't get caught.
Right.
But every serial killer has a preference of how they like to kill.
But Gibson's skeleton was found in the fetal position.
I mean, if I was a serial killer, I'd feed fish. Just saying.
I would feed hogs.
True, but here's the thing.
Because they'll eat anything besides bone.
True, but here's the thing. You feed the fish, they're not going to be able to find exactly geologically. Maybe they could with water samples and stuff, but I'd feed the fish. Not sharks, just the fish. I'm not into oceans, just rivers. Feed the gators.
The Gibson skeleton was found in the fetal position.
Damn.
He showed 8 stab wounds with a large knife and had cut his upper spine.
Cut through his upper spine.
Cut through his upper spine, causing paralysis. And stab wounds to his back and chest would have punctured his heart and lungs. Everest had been savagely beaten. Her skull was fractured in 2 places. Her jaw was broken, and there were knife marks on her forehead.
Damn. Well, see, that's just like up close and personal. Like that was.
She had been stabbed once in the back. The presence of Gibson's body in the bungalow puzzled investigators, as his camera had previously been discovered on December 31st and October.
December 31st, 1989.
Yep, there you go. I got all messed up
and
there.
His backpack
and
later.
his backpack later on March 13th, 1990, by the side of the road. ATM, Galveston Gorge, over 120 kilometers, 75 miles to the north. On November 1st, 1993, a skeleton was found in a clearing along a fire trail in Belangelo. That word gets me every time, and I say it different every time. Maybe one day I'll get it right. During a police sweep, it was later identified as that of Schmidt. Yeah.
Schmitty.
We'll go with that.
Or with Schmitty. I don't freaking know.
And
But matched. Wait, where are you at? Aren't you right here?
No. And I'm up here.
Oh, okay.
And more. At least 8 stab wounds. 2 had severed her spine.
Damn.
And others would have punctured her heart and lungs. So it's always.
It's very personal.
And it's always spine, heart, lungs. So they know where to. He knows where to stop them.
Well, I mean, if they're probably avid hunters at one point. Honestly, to me,
yeah, it said they were avid hunters.
Honestly, to me, it was a game for them.
Well, him.
Them, because I'm saying it was 2.
Oh, I totally agree. I think there was 2, but only he.
Okay, I think allegedly there was 2 of them.
There you go. Allegedly. We have to say allegedly.
No, Mahor, we know. It's probably one of your brothers.
2 had severed her spine, and 2 others had punctured her heart and lungs. Clothing was found at the scene, but not... How do you say her name?
Schmitty?
Yep, we're going with it. But matched that of another missing backpacker.
Habachidi?
Yep, we're going with it. The bodies of
Habachidi and Nikawawa.
Yep.
Nikawawa.
We're going with them. We are butchering these names, guys. We are so sorry.
So bad. Somebody should have just kept their first names.
Yeah. Don't judge me. I will next time.
I always do. When there's a hard one, I just keep their first names.
I didn't think about it.
We're then apart.
We're then found on...
oh, yeah. Sorry, I skipped that. Which were then found on a nearby
fire trail on November 4th, 1993, in a shallow grave 50 meters or 160 feet apart.
Damn.
Habashidi? Yep. Had been decapitated, and despite an extensive search for her skull, was never found.
Probably because it was taken as a souvenir somewhere. Or scavengers.
And...
Nijabarar?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Had been shot in the head 6 times. There was evidence that some of the victims did not die instantly from their injuries.
So they got off torturing. Search for a killer.
Ooh.
Oh, go back up. There you
Uh,
go. Examination
yup.
of the remains.
I lost track of where I was.
Examination.
Holy shit. Examination of the remains showed evidence that some of the victims had been tortured. In response, on October 14th, 1993, Task Air Force, or Force Air, containing more than 20 detectives and analysts, was set up by the New South Wales Police.
On November 5th.
On November 5th, the New South Wales government increased the reward in relation to the killings to a $500,000.
I wouldn't have told anybody and everybody under the sun for $500,000.
Oh, me too.
Especially in '93. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be a millionaire.
Uh-huh. After developing their profile of the killer, the police faced an enormous volume of data.
Of course, because you got all the crazies coming out of the woodworks.
From numerous sources. Right. Investigators applied link analysis technology. And as a result, the list of suspects was narrowed from a short list of 230 to an even shorter list of 32.
Right.
Speculation arose that the crimes were the work of several killers.
Here's the thing. I think that there was 2 killers, but it also could have been 1 killer, 2 different personalities.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You just, I don't know. Stabbing is an up-close and personal situation. You want to feel each stab. You want them to look you in the face. You wanted to see it and know that it's happening. Where a gun, you just pull out, bam, 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 bam. It's quick. They shoot them multiple times in the head. Sometimes they didn't die right away. But stabbing is so personal, but shooting is so quick.
Right.
So, one liked the suffering, the other one liked to just kill to kill.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, in my opinion, I think that both victims of each time that took pair were target practice. You think about it. Because shooting them that many times in the head, they were probably using the head as the bullseye, as a target.
Right.
And then the stabbing, I don't know, maybe if they were throwing knives, that would explain why it was so, but the stabbing so much that it severed the spinal cord, that is something that you would have to be so close to do.
It almost seems like it's something that would happen if you know the person.
But
because that's pure hatred.
Yeah. But also, I don't know. I think there's 2 people, but you would think if there was 2 people, he would freaking narc them out just so he could get he wouldn't get a lesser sentence, because, you did it, but I feel that to subdue a two-person team, you would almost have to be 2 people.
Right. Speculation arose that the crimes were the work of several killers, given that most of the victims had been attacked while as pairs.
Yeah.
Had been killed in different ways.
Right.
And buried separately. On November 13th, police were contacted by Paul Onions, 24, in the United Kingdom.
And you leave it to the onion.
Right.
To sour everything.
I'm
just kidding.
In the United Kingdom, a few years earlier, on January 25th, 1990, Onions had been backpacking in Australia, and while hitchhiking from Liverpool Station towards Mildura, had accepted a ride south out of Casilla?
South out of the town of... Where are you at?
Right here.
south out of Casalula.
Yeah, Casalula.
From a man known only as Bill. From south out of the town of Middlegoing. All right.
Yeah. And less than 1 kilometer. I don't know why my phone like that. Yeah. From Belangelo, Bill pulled out a revolver and some rope. I don't know why I said that came out very weird.
Pulled out a revolver and some rope.
Yeah.
Oh, like tie rope. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were having another weird like
to rob onions, at which
okay, I'm good. I'm sorry, it's just that all like ran together.
it really did. I did not think this through. At which point he managed to flee while Bill shot at him. Onions flagged down a passenger motorist. Joanne Barry
of Canterbury.
Yeah. And together they described the assailant and his vehicle and registration.
To borrow.
Registration number to the Borough Police on April 13th, 1994. Detectives refound the note regarding Onion's call. His statement was corroborated by Barry along with the girlfriend of a man who worked with Malat. Which at first...
But here's the thing, if he was abducting a two-man team, why would he solo?
Right.
Unless Malat wasn't the one raping. Unless Malat liked to shoot and the rapist liked to stab. And do pokety-poke with more than just his poke. He liked to poke his penis and then stab him with a knife. Which was probably honestly like a hunting knife.
Police surveillance of Malat's house in Cinnabar Street in Eagleville commenced on February 26, 1994. Police soon learned that Malat had recently sold his silver Nissan Patrol shortly after the discovery of the bodies of Clark and Waters.
Probably because there was probably blood evidence of some kind.
I would say so.
Yeah, some type of evidence linking.
Police also confirmed that Malat had not been working on any of these days of the attacks, and acquaintances also told police about Malat's obsession with weapons. When the connection between the Bungalow murders and Onion's experience, were made. Onions flew.
He really should have just got his first name.
Flew to Australia to help the investigation On May 5th, 1994, he positively identified Malat. Jesus, I cannot talk tonight. As the man who had picked him up and attempted to shoot him. Malat was arrested at his house on May 22nd on robbery and weapons charges related to Onion's attack after 50 police officers surrounded the house.
A little excessive.
A little bit.
But he also had a thing for weapons, so...
And so far he's killed like 7 people.
Sure. Why do I feel like he's killed more and he gets away with this part?
I know. It does seem like a lot.
It does.
The search of the residence revealed various weapons, including a .22 caliber
and Anschwitz?
I
don't know.
Model and
144-42 rifle. I don't think I've ever heard of one of those.
and parts of a 22 caliber
Rogue 10-22 rifle. I know that one. That matched to the type that was used in murders at Browning. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
A Browning pistol and a Bowie knife.
Bowie knife would definitely make the cuts on the victims.
Right.
Because they're super sharp. Good and handy.
Also,
but you would think he would cut himself on the knife. But
you would think. Also uncovered were 2 items belonging to several of the victims.
Trophies.
Homes belonging to
dumb motherfuckers. You don't take trophies.
Homes belonging to Malat's mother and 5 of his brothers were also searched, uncovering several more items belonging to the victims. Malat appeared in court.
Makes you wonder if five killers weren't involved.
On May 23rd, but he did not enter a plea on until May 31st. He was additionally charged with the 7 backpack murders on June 28th. Malat sacked
James Marston.
Yeah, his family lawyer.
Oh, so he called him family lawyer.
Yeah.
And sought legal aid to help for his defense.
Right.
Right here, meanwhile.
Defense. Meanwhile, brothers Richard and Walter were tried in relation to weapons and drugs and stolen items found on their properties. A committal hearing from Malat regarding the murders begun on October 24th and lasted until December 12th, during which over 200 witnesses appeared.
Damn.
Based on the evidence at Malat at the beginning of February 1995, Malat was remanded in custody until June
of the same year.
Of that same year. Malat's trial opened at the Supreme Court of New South Wales in Sydney on March 26, 1996, and was prosecuted by Mark
Tedeswini.
Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, Malat is reported as having been confident he would be found innocent in phone recordings made to the ABC's Australian Story program in 2004. Malat stated his grounds for believing he would be found innocent at trial. My basic defense in my trial was that it wasn't me. I don't know who did it. It was up to them to prove my guilt, not for me to prove my innocence. His defense argued that in spite of the evidence, there was no non-circumstantial proof Malat was guilty and attempted.
Okay, so there was no non-circumstantial proof. Okay.
And attempted to shift blame on other members of his family.
So he tried the I didn't do it.
Particularly Richard, right.
Which makes you wonder if Richard wasn't the second person. They just couldn't place Richard there, so it was a waste of time to actually try him. And Richard probably, after his brother got caught, either got smarter or stopped killing.
145 witnesses took the stand, including members of the Malat family, who inadverted
to provide
alibis. On June 18th, Malat gave evidence himself on July 27th, 1996, after 18 weeks of testimony.
Yeah.
A jury found the Malat found Malat guilty of the murders, he was given a life sentence on each count without the possibility of parole. He was also convicted of the attempted murder, false imprisonment, and robbery of onions, for which he received 6 years imprisonment on each.
Okay, here's the thing. He wasn't walking out of this.
No.
He was not walking away from this at all. So the fact that they even kept it going for 18 weeks was crazy to me. But another thing is maybe Richard was the other person. It's just with a case this big, there was no hard proof evidence that Richard was involved. Versus where he had the weapons, the positive ID of trying to pick up the motherfucker that was hitchhiking.
When the cops searched the one brother's house, they found one of the victim's backpacks.
Right.
And the wife, or either the wife or the girlfriend of the brother had stated that he had gave it to her.
Right.
Now, I didn't go into it. I don't think I went into the domestic violence and stuff. I meant to. I completely skipped it. I'll tell you off. Tell you off camera.
So, 1989, December 30th.
Yeah, December 30th, Australian...
So, we're talking about victims right now.
Yes.
So, we're kind of going to go into depth with victims.
Yes.
Okay. There we go. Right here. Australians Deborah Irvist and James Gibson.
Both 19 left Melbourne. The couple first went to Sydney, where they stayed at a backpacker hostel.
Which I'm assuming is kind of like a hotel.
I'm guessing.
Or a camp of some kind.
I'm guessing. I'm not for sure. If I would have thought about it, I would have looked it. I should have looked it up to figure out what it is.
Okay. Kind of like a
kind of like a little cottage.
Kind of like a bed and breakfast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Is what I'm assuming. At least that's what it looks like.
In the inner city suburbs, after checking out, they were last seen...
kind of like a cottage. B&B type thing.
They were last seen heading to Confest, planning to hitchhike to Oldbury.
See, that's your first fucking mistake. Why the fuck would you hitchhike?
But back then, hitchhiking was...
No, I even say it was normal, because the more mentions got picked up, more people got picked up and sliced, diced, and mutilated just by doing this.
Well, yeah.
But we trust everybody. It was back in the love, peace era. But you were getting love, peace, and then stabbed. Okay. We're last seen at Bushwalker Fair. Bushwalker. Okay.
They were heading to Confest.
We're last seen.
And they were last seen at Bushwalker found Gibson's...
A bushwalker found...
Yeah, a bushwalker found Gibson's camera by the road
at
Galston George in North Sydney. The person took the damaged camera home and only reported it when Gibson's empty backpack was found in the same area a month later and was linked to the couple's missing persons report. Both were found in the Bungalow, however you say that damn word, State Forest on October 5th, 1993, and had been stabbed repeatedly.
91.
Yep, these are his victims in 91. German Simone
Schmidt.
Yep. 20 set off to hitchhike from Sydney. She told acquaintances that she was off to Melbourne to meet her mother, who was flying from Germany to join her
Camping holiday.
for a camping holiday. She was last seen at the train station preparing to leave for Western Sydney, where she was attempting to hitchhike on November 1st, 1993. Simone's body was found in the Bungalow State Forest. She had died after suffering numerous stab wounds, one of which went through her spinal column. December 26th.
So this was right after Christmas.
Yeah. December 26th, German backpackers
Gabor.
21
and Anja.
Yep.
Anja.
20 left the backpackers in at King's Cross, Sydney, to hitchhike to
Darwin.
Yep. On November 4th, 1993, both were found in
the state forest. The B state
forest. In the state forest. Yep. Where it was determined that Gabor had been bound and shot 6 times, while his partner
Eugene
had been beheaded.
That's kind of ouch, but okay. 92.
British citizens Joanne Walker's. Yep. And Caroline Clark.
Yeah, see, you put their actual names here, but not anywhere else. 21 left King's Cross.
I'm just now getting the hang of doing the research of all this.
I know.
You used to do all the research. Now we're doing our own, and it's hard.
It's difficult. King's Cross to hitchhike
King's
together.
Cross hitchhike together, and Australia. Around Australia. They were headed for Victoria to pick fruit. Aww. To pick fruit.
Probably tossing
and made it to Bully Pass. We'll go there. We'll say that, right?
Bully Pass, yeah.
Yep. Near Walligan, where they reportedly asked for directions to the Hume Highway, September 19th, 1992. Both were found in the B State Forest. Walkers had been stabbed, and Clark had been shot 11 times.
So the hunting grounds was the same.
Oh, yeah. He always put them in the same spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, the hunting grounds, period. A lot of these roads and stuff, like, they all intersect. Yeah. Incarceration and appeals. This motherfucker really tried to appeal. As if they were going to let your ass out.
On his first day at Multiland, right?
Matland.
Why did I try to put way more emphasis on that than I needed to?
I don't know,
Matland.
Gall?
Malat was beaten by another inmate almost a year later on May 16th, 1997. He made an escape attempt alongside convicted drug dealer and former Sydney Councillor George
Suarez?
We're going with it. The plan failed and Suarez was found hung.
That don't sound suspicious.
Hung in his cell the very next day. Malat was subsequently transferred to a maximum security section at Goulburn Correctional Center.
In November
1997, Malat
was subsequently transferred to maximum security station in Goulburn Correction Center. In November 1997, Malat appealed against his convictions due to a breach
of his common law right to legal
Representation.
Representation. There it is. Oh, wow. That did not want to come out. Representation. We're going with it.
Sure.
As an establishment, Dietrich? Yeah. The Queen. However,
the Queen?
Yeah. However, the New South Wales Court of Criminal Appeal dismissed the appeal. In 2004, Milat filed an application with the High Court of Australia that he be allowed special leave to appeal on new grounds.
Which that was going to happen with his previous escape attempt.
Right. The appeal for new leave was ultimately dismissed, affirming the Court of Criminal Appeals
disallowed
his initial appeal. On October 27th, 2005, in the New South Wales Supreme Court, Milat's final avenue of appeal was refused. In 2006, 2 other application attempts were rejected as well.
So, he wasn't giving up. He was bound and determined.
Right. Application and attempts were rejected as well as one in November 2011. In 2001, Milat was transferred to one of 45 new units at the High Risk Management Corrections Center.
So basically Supermax.
Right.
Where they hold all the villains.
Goulburn Correctional Center. I do not know why those misspelled like that. That is so weird. In 2006, a toaster and television was given to Milat in his cell, caused public outcry.
Which, I can understand why, honestly. He didn't deserve any of that.
In his 2004 interview on Australian Story, Milat denied that any of his family had been involved in the 7 murders. On January 26, 2009, Milat cut off his little finger with a plastic knife with the intention of mailing it to the High Court of Australia to force an appeal. He was taken to Goulburn Base Hospital under high security. However, on January 27th, Milat was returned to prison after doctors decided surgery was not possible. Milat had previously harmed himself in 2001.
Razor blades, that's it.
When he swallowed razor blades, staples, and other metal objects.
Yeah, that's not surprising. That happened a lot.
That would hurt coming out.
Yeah, but it also bought him an extra stay in the hospital, at least a week. If not longer. Where he got television, good food, supervision.
Yeah, but they put a television in his room.
Nurses coming and going so he could have human contact.
Yeah.
Supermax, he probably didn't have that.
Oh, true. That would pretty much be like our solitary, huh?
I do believe, yeah.
And other metal objects. In May 2011, he went on a 9-day hunger strike.
Damn. Too bad it wasn't longer.
Losing 25 kilograms in an unsuccessful attempt to be given a PlayStation made in their video games.
What the fluff and fluff?
I'm sorry, I'm fat.
Let me just go on a hunger strike for a PlayStation. Bitch, you just took the lives of several innocent people And you want a PlayStation? Oh, fuck yeah, you.
Not to mention raping a couple of them.
You should have been raped.
Maybe that's why he was in Supermax, so he wasn't.
No, that's why all the hardcores go.
Well, he was
Hardcore
probably
rapist
alone.
and all that. He's probably in solitary.
Yeah.
If
That's
not,
what I'm
his
saying.
ass would have been the size of the Grand Canyon.
In May 2019, Malat was transferred to the Prince of Wales Hospital, Randwick,
Yeah, in Randwick.
and was subsequently diagnosed with terminal esophageal cancer.
Esophageal cancer, okay.
Following his treatment,
Which is
he was transferred to the Long Bay Correctional Center to continue his
Custodial sentences.
on August 9th, 2019. Yeah. I jumped back. Holy
really
shit.
did. So he recently
2019. Oh, yeah. A terminally ill Malat was moved to a secure treatment unit located at the Prince of Wales Hospital following the loss of 20 kilograms in previous weeks.
Which is normal for...
Yeah.
Because what it probably did is it went to his lungs, and then from his lungs it spread throughout his body.
Right,
and
it probably
went to his brain.
metastasized.
Yeah.
Previous weeks, he was also exhibiting a high temperature.
Right, which is just his body shutting down.
His status, however, was reported as non-life-threatening. On October 27th, 2019, Malat died from esophagus cancer, stomach cancer.
Right, so it metabolized.
At 4:07 a.m. within the hospital wing at Long Bay Correctional Center. He was 74 years old. Prior to his death, Malat wrote a letter to his family requesting that his funeral be paid for by the New South Wales government.
Of course.
The request was denied by the New South Wales Corrections Minister, Anthony Roberts. Instead, his body was cremated with the full reimbursement of costs to be paid from his prison account.
Rich. He probably had a job in there.
Right.
Making license plates.
So he had to pay for his own cremation.
Good motherfucker.
In his final days, New South Wales police said in a statement that their officers visited Malat 8 times in prison and in the hospital in an attempt to get a confession.
Which you'd think he'd want to confess to.
However, Malat did not confess. Various strategies were deployed on each occasion, including different...
It kind of makes you wonder if he wasn't even the actual killer, honestly.
Different combinations of detectives and utilizing record interviews with the victims, families, and
part of me
as an investigative technique.
But part of me wonders if they even believed he was capable of doing it, honestly.
Right. The statement said no further information was received from or provided to the police during the interactions. Although Malat died never having officially confessed, he is said to have previously admitted to his mother, with whom he had a close relationship, that he was responsible for the backpacker murderers.
Yeah, but his mama probably... If one of her other boys were involved, or if her other boys were involved and you already went down for it, I highly doubt she would.
Exactly, and not only that, he's already dying. So, why?
Alright, so next week we will pick up on additional investigations.
Right.
Because we still have 7 more pages to go.
Holy shit.
So, next week, stay tuned for part 2.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.